Hey, it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles, and we're back from our week-long road trip. We put on about 3,000 miles. We went to Monroeville, Ohio, to Rotor Racing to pick up a Harley Davidson from George Rotor. And then from there we went to the Wauseon AMCA meet. And from there over to Chicago to pick up a Bultaco. And then we rendezvoused with a friend in Nashville, Tennessee, who was picking up some bikes from the National Motorcycle Museum auction in Amarosa, Iowa. I bought two, he bought two, we rendezvoused there. There's going to be a number of videos. I don't know in what order they're coming out. We did separate videos for the swap meet. I think there's 2 of them. There's this video, and then my friend opened up his shop. He's got some very special bikes, so you'll get a shop tour there. So if you're watching this, like, follow, or subscribe so you don't miss those other videos. A lot of unique bikes coming up. Going back to Ohio, but my city there is gone. There is no uptown. There is no downtown. Oh, way to go, Ohio. This is one stop on our way. If you get through Middle Ohio, have to stop at Rotor Racing. He's actually closed right now because he's racing in Wauseon. But I was able to pick up my bike. And here it is. We're loaded up. This is a 1971 Harley Davidson ERS. It's not a Sprint, it's an ERS, which was their racing version. I had George breathe on it for me. Should be ready to go. Well, that was one stop on the trip. Then we're delivering the Zundap and the NSU, which got sold. Good morning, this is day 4 of our road trip. We're going back to the swap meet in Wauseon, and then we got to go to Chicago to pick up another Bultaco. Yep, another one. Funny how the traffic slows down to 45 miles an hour. This is day 5 of our road trip. Let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, day 5. And from there I went maybe 40 miles west of Chicago to pick up a Bultaco, but it was pouring rain, so I couldn't film anything. Loading up the Bultaco. We'll have to show you that when we get back to the shop. Now I guess I'm 40-50 miles west of Nashville. I'm rendezvousing with a friend of mine to pick up 2 bikes that I bought at the Amarosa auction. He bought 2 bikes for himself, and we're gonna get loaded up and see what I got, and maybe he'll share his. So we're cleared to film.
Oh yeah.
These are my two. That's Rusty, and his two are in there.
These are man's machines. These are some little twachular bikes.
Yeah. 81 Mako 490 twin shock. Last year for the twin shock.
To this day, still revered as the greatest motocross bike of all time. To those guys with those names.
I don't know why that is. It because in the early 70s no one else had a big bore two-stroke? Is that it?
No,
I mean,
because they did have them in the early 70s. They had 360s back then. Of course, in the early 80s, it was just the stars aligned, and the handling and the suspension and the power characteristics and the new small motor and the weight. It was just a revelation, and to this day, it's still revered.
I had an earlier one. I could never start it.
Well,
It's got now. This is weird because the compression release. You probably know, if I'm speaking wrong, you actually have to hold it down while you kick it.
see where it comes in here?
Yeah.
If it were up here, it would never crank. So it's at the back. They've been doing that since the late 60s. Mako had.
And so that's it. You don't. It's not like you find top dead center and go just past.
Yeah. You hold it in while you're kicking, and when it cranks up, it'll sound like a giant cricket. And then you let off of it, and then she goes ahead and does your thing. I don't remember the 490s having that. That may have been something somebody added, but it's cast in there, so it's correct. She's a beauty.
So you think someone added the wide foot pegs?
Yes, absolutely they did.
No.
They didn't have those in '81. And the fat bars and those work shocks, and otherwise, I'm thinking that thing is original.
It's weird.
Somebody's gonna just.
I just bought it on a whim because
Well, they're gonna jump all over it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna jump all over this thing. Look at these new old stock Metzlers, and those aren't Ching Shin copies. These are Metzlers.
Yeah.
Trelleborgs and Metzlers, and to a lesser degree, the early Dunlops are like hen's teeth, and people pay stupid money for these things for this purpose, not to go out and race them, to have a correct restoration for correct display. And
I think I have some of those Trelleborg tire, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Trelleborg, the Swedish tires.
For the Husqvarna. Yeah.
Let me pull up a little bit, and we'll unload them.
So this is a Rickman B44 Westlake, which I think we've determined is a 2-valve head.
Kind of looks like it. I saw some pictures of 4-valve heads, and the valve cover assembly apparatus box, whatever you want to call it, is larger and differently shaped than that. So that's a 2-valve Westlake, I think. After research last night.
I don't know. Do you know? Do they change? They must change the bore. They just go to an alloy cylinder. Well, you don't know either.
I don't think they do anything. They probably put a different piston in there. I think that's a stock cylinder because the B44s, B50s, B25s, all that, they always had alloy cylinders with a liner. And I'm not a BSA guru, but I know that much.
Okay, so the kits that just comes with a stock cylinder.
Yeah, I think it's head up, and they're probably a piston.
Well, he'll pull up, and then we're gonna see what he got. Then we'll get back to the shop, and I'll tell you more about him. Look at those non-folding foot pegs. Loaded up. Let's see what our friend Rusty got. Okay, you know, Laverta's for their triples, I guess, was what made them famous, right?
It was, and before that it was heavy farming implements, and they still make that stuff. Combines and tractors and all that. And they're weird little odd motorcycles for a weird, big, odd guy.
So what is this?
This is a 1959 Laverta 98cc 4-stroke. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure it has a name. Little 4-speed.
What's the valve configuration?
It's a overhead valve with push rods. A cam light rides down in the cases like an old Brit.
Oh, a gear indicator.
Yeah. Well, it's got this. It's
Look
got
at
this
that crazy
bastardized mechanism. It's 10 pounds of slop for every gear. But it's just part of the charm.
And what size did you say it was?
98 cc's.
Well, it looks big for 98
it does.
cc's.
Of course, the 4-stroke makes it look a little. Yeah.
Oh, look at the little baby twin leading. Twin is. That's not a 4. Oh, it's. No, I'm mistaken.
It's a single leading shoe, but it's just a cool little casting. Laverta did their own casting.
I got mistaken by the speedometer cable running down the other side.
Laverta cast all their own wheels and everything, even up till the end in the mid '80s. They did all their own castings. They were a big operation, and they still are. They still make big, heavy farming equipment. I love the little San Remo aluminum rims.
I was checking on what. That's just a Duro. I was just checking on it. Sometimes you get some feedback by what tires are on it.
Yeah, those are later.
Yeah.
They're the tread pattern's period correct, but they're not the old Pirellis. Now, a couple of the old Italian bikes I have in the shop have got the original old Pirellis on them. But it'll line up with the rest of the little oddballs. And that thing, I never heard of them. An Alpino.
An Alpino. Do you know what country of
It's
origin?
Italian.
What are those?
It's a little 50cc.
16-inch wheels?
They look like 16s, Little 15-inch post-war Tiddler, probably late 50s. I think they represented it as a 60, but who knows. And I'm gonna straighten the foot pegs out on it, and I'm not even gonna wipe the dust off of it.
Boy, if this was in America, it would have been trashed as a dirt bike.
Instantly, yeah, it would have lasted a day, maybe. Even for late 50s Italy, it's very pedestrian and cheaply done.
Yeah.
But it's still got that Italian flair.
Yeah.
This one's also a hand shift. Like some of the Pirellis and some of the
cable deal. Look at that. It says Alpino on the grips.
I know. Yeah. I never heard of them. I thought somebody had accidentally put a sticker off of something else on there, but then I saw the grips. I said, well, obviously they made them.
Well, it's a Moto Guzzi Alpino. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's the Moto.
It is the Moto Guzzi. You got the same eagle almost. Yeah, it looks like a Nazi eagle. Yeah,
it almost does.
I'll try to find a. No, I won't. I was gonna. I almost said something stupid. I'm gonna try to find a chain guard for it. Hell no, forget it.
You can fudge something.
I'm not even gonna worry about it. If I happen to see one on eBay or who the hell knows, I'll grab it.
But you know, if you paint it black, it'll stand out.
Yeah.
And you've got to somehow get that faded red paint.
Yeah, you can't paint anything because suddenly that's the only thing you'll see is whatever's painted.
But you could do a satin black, but it would still stand out.
Yeah. They got done with it. They said, "Oh shit, we need to put a horn somewhere." So they just hung a horn on the damn thing.
Well, that's what they did with the toolbox too.
Yeah, exactly.
Got my foot and my woman on the ground, going down, 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 down. I got my, how's it go? My ears are popping again. Whoa! What the heck was that? I said, oh, Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta. I said, yeah, Atlanta. Got to get back to you. So we are going to unload now. You get to see what you didn't get to see earlier in this video. It was raining in Chicago when we picked up the Bultaco, so I didn't shoot any video, and the video from George Roeder was shortened because he was closed. So let's take a look at what you didn't see earlier on this road trip. This is a 1978 Bultaco Metralla GTS. It's the last in the Metralla road bike series. Carries on that 250cc motor with the enclosed chain guard, but has a 6-speed transmission.
These, for 250cc, these are honest 100-mile-an-hour bikes. You can see it's street plated, but it's been off the road since '99. There's a speedometer drive, but no speedometer. And turn signals. Look how these are. Alright, you saw that, my 490 Mako. This is the bike I picked up from Rotor Racing. This was my bike. I bought it locally. It's a 71 ERS. ERS was Harley's competition racer. It's based on the Sprint. It evolved from the CR. The CR is 250cc. This is a 350. It's magneto. That's the bulge here with the dry clutch. I really need a film crew. George got this ready for me. See, we added the disc brake and a quick change rear. Did some tuning. Put in a remote starter kit. There's the quick change with the rear disc. This is the original wheel. Just to point something out, it's not a factory Sprint wheel. These reinforcing ribs were unique to the ERS. That makes that an ERS hub. And golly gee, it weighs a ton. And this is a factory ERS front wheel. It has a fork stay. There's your fork stay. I believe the original Sprints didn't have that, but ran a traditional rod for a fork stay. So those are the wheels to this bike. Of course, it would have had a Delorto GP carburetor, which I don't have. This one's been lowered. I'll probably raise it up a bit. Looks like it's sitting about right for those size wheels, but we'll see. Now, I'm too much of a wimp to start that Mako when it's 95 degrees out, but I can cheat here. So let's hear what this thing sounds like. Nope. There goes nothing.
So everything here is a learning experience. I had to call George. I wanted to make sure he didn't have a hidden toggle switch or something. There's not, just the kill button. But apparently he did the same thing as I did. You would assume that this crankshaft turns in the direction of travel. So my counterclockwise starter should start that. Except there must be some kind of intermediate gear, because this turns over backwards. I've either got to get a different starter, change mine, or see if I can bump start it. And man, it's 95 degrees out. The whole purpose of having that is so I wouldn't have to try to bump start it. But if you hear it come to life, it started. If you don't hear it come to life and I come back out of breath, you'll have to wait for the next video. We'll see. You can guess how that went. Wanted. Strong guy. Can we say that anymore? Strong guy who can push and kick must have a strong right leg.